Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome to the Hangin' with Web Show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for logging on and tuning in. I hope you're subscribed, but if you're not, smash the subscribe button. That's what the kids all say. I don't know what it means really, but do it for me, and that way you can come back over and over again because we've got artists, authors, filmmakers, musicians. We've got creative minds of all kinds. We are at IBF 2019. That's the Indie Bookfest 2019 in Orlando, Florida, and we're hanging out with Elena Alonso-Sierra, the author of the Coin series. That's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
That's a neat okay, the Coin series. I got distracted. I'm sorry. You guys know what's going on here. All right, so tell us about the Coin series.
Well, the Coin series is basically a duology, which is, yes, it's a new term, guys, and I coined it. It's a duology.
She's a writer. She can do that. We make up words all the time. She made up one. What is a duology?
A duology is a story that was too big to be finished in one book, but it's not long enough to be a continuous series.
Okay, all right.
And since I write suspense and thrillers, this is my suspenseful thriller.
Okay.
Since I write that, I had the entire story arc was already set, but when I started actually writing it, it turned out that it was a little too long, so I had to break it down into two stories.
Characters and in a world that you build oftentimes have a tendency to think for themselves.
They do, they talk to you.
They don't do what they're told sometimes, and
Yes.
the universe gets bigger.
Yes.
And
yes.
a new character might be born out of that misbehavior.
Yes.
And so you end up with a duology.
A duology.
A duology,
yes.
okay.
And it's the same characters. It's Gabriela Martinez and Richard Harrison.
Okay.
And I started it in the French Riviera, where I used to live.
Because, cool. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it was the perfect setting. It really was for a suspense novel.
That could just be a sentence in the French Riviera is a perfect setting. We don't have to do anything more to that sentence. Not for writing, not for a book, just the perfect setting, because it is globally renowned as
Yes,
the perfect setting.
yes,
And you set this story there. What's the story about? What is
The story is about a woman who finds a coin in the middle of the mountain, and then she sets it in her favorite bracelet.
Okay.
What she doesn't, and this is a Cuban thing, yes.
Also a 1970s American thing. I don't know. My father had coins that he hung. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
It was a
no,
thing.
but this is a Cuban thing. And she finds a coin in the middle of the mountain. What she doesn't realize is there is a psychopath that has that coin as a secret that he wants to keep. So when he finds out that she does have that coin, that's when all hell breaks loose in her life. And Richard Harrison has to come in not only to find out why,
Wow.
where, when, what's going on with that coin, but also try to keep her alive because the attacks get worse and worse and worse.
Wow, that's
Try to
a
keep her
lot
alive.
going on. Like you said,
lot is
enough
going
for
on.
a duology.
A
Okay,
duology,
so
yes. The
this
next happens 4 years afterwards.
Okay.
And she's already a famous artist. And she
I gotta-
recreates, don't worry about
Oh, there
it.
we go.
She recreates a medieval manuscript
Okay.
for a children's charity auction. And this time there is a arts dealer, a very crooked arts dealer, who wants her to just sell it to him exclusively. And when she refuses, that's when all hell breaks loose again in her life.
She seems to get all hell breaking loose quite a bit.
Well, I love murder and mayhem. That kind of thing.
Unless you're a writer, you really can't use that sentence very often because people look at you funny.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the FBI most wanted list.
Look,
yes.
you write murder and mayhem, your Google history's probably already got you on several watch lists.
Oh, I
I'm
know.
Sure.
I know.
The stuff you've got to look up. International intrigue, murder. Yeah, it does.
Yes.
So I'm loving, you got authors love this. I love my Laurel. Lots of little stickers here.
Yes, this has gotten several awards actually in book festivals, and it had the reader's favorite 5-star review.
Awesome.
This one has 2 bronze medals.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, 2 bronze medals. The 2018 bronze medal from
Best
Reader's
thriller
Favorite.
and Reader's Favorite. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Love to see these stickers. Award-winning author. I like
You
when
don't
I
have to brag. Nobody
I
else
won-
will brag for
I
me.
know. When I won my first award, I came home and I announced to the ladies, from now on, I'm award-winning
Winning
author.
author,
That's
yes.
how I'll be introduced because
But I'm not lying either.
no, it's true. As soon as it happens, you're like, from now on, write that down. Because no one else, like you said, no one else is going to brag
No
about you,
one
so you
else,
might as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Especially if you're independently published.
Yeah. So what drives the writer now? What do you love about writing? What drew you into being a professional writer?
I love getting into my characters. I love to bring in the places where I've lived. Like, for example, right now I'm working on a detective story set in New York,
Okay.
where I used to live as well. And I like the.
She's like her character. She's like an international woman of mystery. I like that.
Yeah, well, I've lived in a lot of places, I must say.
And not because of witness protection either.
No. No. More times than I can count. But anyways, I like getting into the story. I like for example, in The Coin, it's based on an actual real event that happened in my life.
Oh, fantastic.
Which was basically, I was going outside. They have beautiful trailing, walkways and trailing all over the mountains. And I was there with my sons. And they were playing around in the clearing, and I was sitting down on the ground, and when I got up, I found a lot of coins on the ground.
Cool.
And being a writer, of course, you start
Oh,
thinking,
yeah,
what
where are
if?
they
What
from and
if?
what if?
Exactly.
The writer's favorite question, what if?
The what if, yes.
And if you get, you give that, you can start an entire universe with the question, what if, in a
That's
the
right.
writer's mind. So we have another one back here too. It looks
Well,
like we've got,
this is
this is kind of a short,
This is different. This is a short story collection.
okay.
And it's actually, I've written it in all genres. I have a detective story in there, I have a ghost story in there. And I
Wow.
have stories that are flights of fancy. But the bigger section there are fictionalized stories based on my own Cuban exile.
Wow.
So I fictionalize those, and I'm very proud of this little collection.
That is
Yes,
fantastic.
it's a double
That's
silver
a
medal
catharsis. That's great because you've written about experiences that you have experienced, yourself.
It was rough, let me tell you. I left Cuba in 1962, and a lot of things have happened in my life. But sitting down to write about those experiences, I thought I could deal with it, but there were moments when I had to just stop,
And
get up, sometimes cry, sometimes scream, and then just get back and sit and
it is,
keep on writing.
Life tends to just move on us. So whatever we've been through or whatever we're going through, you don't have a choice. You float through it.
Yes.
It's not until you sit down later and reflect that those emotions sometimes can hammer you because you're reliving a moment in your mind.
Oh, yeah.
That is, you had no choice but to get through it, to survive.
I know.
But
I know.
when
I
you
know.
look at it years later, 40, 50 years later, now all of a sudden you can see it with different eyes and more experienced eyes.
And that's I can't call it the tragedy of it, but it makes it so much more heartbreaking
Yeah,
and
because you're
heartrending.
witnessing it now from a different
from
perspective.
a different perspective.
And it is to witness and know, particularly through the 60s and the 70s, so many exiles that made their way. Their stories they're poignant because they seem surreal to most people because that's just not life, in the normal world.
Yeah.
But for so many, that's their experience.
Oh, let me tell you, I've spoken with a lot of people and says, I can't believe that this really happened. And I said, yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And you
It is-
cannot
We tend
undo
to put
it.
things in our history
Yes.
in these little boxes where they start to, after a while, they do start to feel like fiction. We've done that. We've done that with the World War II Holocaust. We've kind of put it in a box where there were people involved in this.
Yes.
And then when you look at the Cuban exiles and all the things that have led to a lot of our policy and a lot of our lives today, those experiences, you're like, oh, they're in a box. They happened there. There were human beings involved.
Yes, and it still affects you, and it affects your family, and affects your progeny, which is also, and
With
may
all the
affect your
writing,
decisions, everything.
With all the crying and the tears and the shouting and the moments through this, at the end of these stories, what was left? What were you feeling at the end when you were able to put these and publish them? And see them resonating. I see they're resonating with readers.
Yes.
So people are reading these stories and they're living through your eyes.
Yes.
What does that feel like? How does that feel?
It feels great. It's humbling, because you put your life and your emotion and it's almost like you're ripping yourself open for the reader, and it's always wonderful to find out that they love the characters, they love the situations, they can relate to it, and it's wonderful.
This is our collective memory.
Yes.
Without
And we should
these
never
stories,
forget it.
Without these stories, we don't remember. We put things in a box.
Yes.
We put them over here,
Yes.
and they happen to someone else.
Yes.
This is our collective memory. Thank you
No.
for this. This is
Yes.
wonderful. I hope this touches many, many readers.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very
ma'am.
much.
So we had these here. She's working hard. Are there more? Are there
Well,
more
I'm working
coming?
on like I said, I'm working on the detective story. The detective story is halfway done.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be working.
I'm sensing a theme here. You're loving the mysteries and the thrillers, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
What do you love about writing those kind of stories?
The kind of like gotcha moment that you can't believe
Yeah.
that you have that this nasty character came out of your mind, and then how to solve a puzzle, and how to save people in my own mind, and then when I don't like them, I kill them.
Never mess with a writer. Your name is just another one that goes on the list, okay? So, guys, we've been hanging out with Maria Elena Alonso-Sierra, the author of the Coin series, as well as we want you to check out the Fish Tank and other short stories. Check these out. We're going to put links down below so that you can find Maria's work. In the meantime, we're going to thank our great friends at Famous Faces and Funny Space Coast Comics, Indie Originals, Josh Bauer at J. Bauer Art, our great friends at the Foxwood Wine Company, and our friends over at Hutch Helping Others of Central Florida. Thank you guys for sharing these videos all over the World Wide Web. We hope that you will do the same thing. Hit subscribe, come back over and over again to see who we're hanging with next. Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank
That was
you.
fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yes.